For hundreds of years, our family has lived in these woods, led by the spirit of the Wicker Man. The elders told us of a day when he would rise to give us freedom and eternal well-being. But to start that ritual, we must present him with a gift. And that gift is you. You and the flames. It is time. He is here. What an honor to see yourself bound in wicker, encased in his soul. Can you see yourself in him? The time has come for the Wicker Man to rise. Together, we shall feed the flame. Let the ceremony commence.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Planet Coaster, and welcome back to the Wicker Man recreation. Today we're going to be moving on to the pre-show area, including that little tunnel just before the lift hill. So before we go on to the pre-show, let's just talk about a bit what I'm doing here. Now, this sort of area I'm really not happy with. I feel that the ladder pieces, they look really blank, they look really bare, they don't look detailed at all. And so what I'm doing here, I'm just putting some fences around the bottom. It's not going to give it a lot of detail, but it just, you know, makes it look a tiny bit nicer, if you get what I mean. And so yeah, I'm just going around doing all those. You might notice that there are still some supports missing. I will be doing these supports later on in the recreation. For now, I've decided to mainly focus on the station area, and then the shop, and then the rest of the ride area. So yeah, here you'll see me actually start the station area with this wall, and I've got to tell you, it was really difficult to find the right colour for this wall, because it's facing where the light does. Oh, I got a notification. It's facing where the light, the sunlight doesn't really shine onto it, and so it's really quite hard to see what colour the actual wall is in real life. It's kind of that mossy grey. It's got a little bit of green in there. You know, it's just a mossy grey, really. And so, you know, I really had to guess what colour it is in Planet Coaster. Right now, it's not the right colour. I think I do go back and change it just a little. Unfortunately, you can't get individual wall pieces that are short enough to go there, so I've had to use wooden columns there. And of course here I'm just starting the fence. One thing I forgot to put in this part of the ride was the net that sits just above the track just there. I forgot to put that in. I am going to do that in a minute off camera once this video is finished rendering, and I'll put it uploading. It's like 5 PM on a Tuesday right now, so yeah. So I will go back and do that net, because it is, you know, it's only a small little thing, but it is still there. And I think the reason why it's there is to stop people from dropping anything onto the track beneath, which is, you know, obviously they would do that because, you know, someone puts like a cloth, a coat on the track beneath, and then, you know, if a train's really dispatched from the station and it's just coming through the tunnel, you can't really do much about that, and the train will probably derail. Would it derail? No, I don't think it would necessarily derail. It's not really going that fast through the tunnel. It'll just stop the train and get tangled in the wheels probably. But yeah, that's why the net's there. Here you're seeing me place down wooden columns. Oh, I got a text. Here you're seeing me place down wooden columns in just random places, and I'm mainly doing this just to give it that cobblestone wall effect. I know there is part of the spooky pack, there is like a cobblestone wall piece. I think Alton Coasters, he used that piece for his recreation of Wicker Man, and so it's definitely a good piece to use. But the entire wall isn't really cobblestone. It's, most of the wall is kind of like plain brick, if you get what I mean, which is like the looks I'm going for here. Afterwards, I do go back in and put like that cobblestone wall piece along the bottom of this wall. But yeah, it's, only part of it actually has that cobblestone texture in real life. And so, I don't just want to use that cobblestone wall piece for the entire thing, if you get what I mean. So, yeah. So yeah, it looks like the wall is basically done now. Don't know what I'm doing here. What am I doing here? Oh, I'm selecting the walls. Ah, I know what I'm doing here. Yeah, so the cobblestone wall actually goes along the top of it. This is before I found that cobblestone wall piece. So you actually see me use the chimneys, because I did not realise that a cobblestone wall piece existed. Once this episode's over, once the video is rendered, I am going to go back in and change that. But yeah, I might have been playing Planko since it came out, but there are still some pieces that I just don't know are there. I think that's mainly because I use like my set of pieces, the pieces I'm used to. I don't often go all the way down the menu to find a piece that would fit. I know my pieces that I like to use, and so I just go for those, and you'll see me there just undo everything because it looks terrible, doesn't it? So I think I don't actually remember. I recorded all this footage yesterday, but I don't remember. Should be moving on to the tunnel now, and this tunnel is it's kind of awkward in a way, because Frontier have just made coaster stations so big and wide. Because coaster stations just they're so big and wide in Planet Coaster, it makes stuff like this really difficult. Because in real life, you got that big Preshow building and then the big station building like right next to it, and it's really hard to do that when the station invades on the Preshow building's space, and it just makes it so difficult. And I wish Frontier would implement a station piece where it's like RCT3, like it's just this single piece. You can add in air gates if you want. Me personally, I think the air gates in the game are they're too big. The guests aren't going to be queuing up in the air gates that much. They're too big, and that's one of the main reasons why the station is so wide, really. And also a problem that has arisen that I've just thought of now is the exit, because in real life the exit is parallel to the tunnel coming into the station, and so you have that firewall effect along the back, and then the exit is just to the left of that. And you can't do that in Planet Coaster. You can only put exits and entrances on the side of the station. You can't put it on the front or the back of the station, which is where the exit is in real life. So I think I might just do a Saw situation. What I did my Saw recreation was the queue line and the exit pass. For the guests, they just went, out back into the trees, never to be seen again. And then I actually did fake queue lines and a fake exit, just to replicate what it is in real life. And I think I am just going to do that with this recreation as well. And it is just frustrating, really, in Planet Coaster. So yeah, I am just going to go for what I did with Sword of Ride and just put the queue line and the exit in the same place. Here you're seeing me start the pre-show building, and I think just after I start this, I realise, actually no, this is the footage so what happened before was I did a first version of the pre-show building, and I realised it was too small, it wasn't wide enough as it is in real life, and that's mainly because the station is so wide. So you're seeing it there, it's, it's going into the station, because there's not really much I can do about that. And so yeah, I haven't put that footage in for obvious reasons, because I discarded it. But yeah, this is the new pre-show, and I don't know whether you call it copying or not, but with Operator's Wicker Man recreation, he did these types of walls on the Wicker Man station, where it's like the wood kind of overlaps each other, if you say that. I don't know, it's just an idea that I got from Operator's recreation. Whether you want to call it copying or not, I don't really care. We all copy each other at the end of the day, don't we? I think the amount of stuff I've copied from Share and Critique in Bro Nation, so, yeah. Anyway, right, I lost my train of thought. Right, so this is like the main sort of tower of the pre-show building, and this is where the actual pre-show itself is. It's this big, like tower sort of hut structure, and the pre-show is like circular, so so this is where the pre-show is. And as for the rest of the pre-show building, it's kind of like a waiting area, and it has the baggage hold as well. So you put your bags in the lockers, and you wait for the pre-show. I say lockers, they're not really lockers. So yeah, they're not really lockers. For those of you who've not been to Alton Towers or don't know a lot about Alton Towers or Merlin Park, no, I don't think they do them at other Merlin Parks. I think it's just Alton Towers that does this. They used to do this for all the rides, but Smiler and 13 had it removed for budget cuts probably. But yeah, so on Wicker Man and on some other rides at Towers, they have this system where you would put your bag. They have it on Soar at Fort Park as well. Hang on, right? Let me actually explain it. So basically, you give your bag to a member of staff. They put it in like a numbered shelf. They give you a wristband with that number on, and then at the end of the ride, once you've done your ride, you go back and you give them the wristband with your number on it, and they give you your bag back from the corresponding shelf number. And that's the way it should be done, really, with every other theme park. Because I've heard with Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point, you're not allowed your bags, your phone, like, you're not allowed anything in the queue line. You have to pay for a locker and put it in the locker before you enter the queue line. I just think that's stupid, and it is just a way to get money out of guests who've already paid to get in, and I honestly feel like that's really scummy. That is what Cedar Point are doing. I understand that, they don't want anyone bringing loose articles onto the ride for obvious reasons, but when you have a system like that, it's very, very stupid. And I feel like the way Wicker Man does it and Soar the Ride does it is how every ride should be done. Obviously, smaller rides don't really need it, but big rides like Wicker Man, Smiler, Swarm, Stealth, they should all have it. Yeah, and I think Stealth has it as well. Yeah, Stealth has it. But yeah, they should all have that system, really. And like, you might be saying, but hang on, why can't they just put bags on the station platform? Well, the thing is, they might have CCTV cameras on the station platform, but sometimes people will still take them. Personally, I've never experienced anything like that, but I'm sure it's happened a couple times in the past season, at Towers, Smiler and 13, it's never happened to me, but I'm sure it has happened, and it's still something I actually worry about, really. So the way Wicker Man does it is how it should be done. Right, anyway, we're getting off topic here. Okay, so here you see me do the roofing with the tiles, and I realise, hang on, the tiles are clipping through the wooden poles, and here I don't really know what to do. So I end up deleting all the ones that clip through the wooden poles, and I think after a while, it just looks even worse. So I don't know how long it's going to take me. But eventually I do put like extra wooden poles overlapping the wooden tiles, and I feel like that's probably a more efficient solution. And so yeah, that's basically what I'm doing here. So now that you know what I'm doing, and this is the final clip of the episode, you won't see me do the pre-show because it took too long, and it was quite boring to put in as a time lapse. So if you want to see the pre-show, actually no, I didn't record it, did I? No, sorry, I didn't record it. But yeah, so now you know what I'm doing. I want to talk about something else, and that's Alton Coasters, his Alton Towers Wicker Man, not Wicker Man, Alton Towers recreation, and I love it, to be honest. He released his like trailers on I think it was Saturday the 23rd, yeah, Saturday the 23rd, and he made an actual Smiler advert in Planet Coast. Like, it had the effects and the camera movements. I'm just like, how did you do this? I was really amazed by it, to be honest. And I had a look at the park itself. You know, he's done a great job on Wicker Man. He did an amazing job on Smiler. You know, he's got the towers there. He hasn't got the whole park, but you know, he's working on it, and I look forward to seeing him complete this Alton Towers recreation. So we are just coming up to the end of the episode. I think I do start the pre-show here, but of course it's gonna get cut off because it took way too long. And yeah, here you'll see me just look at every single door, and it really does pain me to see that all the animatronic doors are just too big. Why can't we just have some good animatronic doors at guest size? Why does everything in Planet Coaster have to be so oversized? Like, come on, Sam Denny, come on. Why'd you have to do this? Oh, sorry. Right, I didn't realise the outro came that quickly. Right. So anyway, thank you all for watching today's video. As you can see right there, follow me on Twitter for frequent Planet Coaster updates on Wicker Man and of course Magnificent Adventures. I'll be getting back to that in a couple of days. So yeah, see you very soon. Goodbye.